Good morning, my friends. I'm just delighted to be among you all today. On a particularly hot, sticky day, somewhere in early June 2018, I heard a series of curious thunk noises. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Giggle? I wandered over to the source of the sound and found two of my campers playing what appeared to be a modified version of tetherball, except in this version, the goal was to get the ball to smash into their faces. One of my campers called out, "Look, Anne, we're playing heatherball. Get it? It's tetherball, but with our heads." He said this as the tetherball unceremoniously hit him in the side of the head. I could see bloody noses starting on both of my campers and quickly ushered them into the camp office. So was my introduction to life as a summer camp counselor. I wonder if you have fond memories of summer camp, either as a camper, a counselor, a lifeguard. I wonder if you can smell the sweet, piney air. I wonder if you can picture your favorite spot in the mess hall to eat. And if summer camp wasn't part of your life growing up, I wonder if you just have fond memories of the summertime and all that comes with it. Some of my happiest memories spanning my whole life are the years I spent as a camp counselor. I became very well versed in redirecting inappropriate jokes, reminding my campers to put on their sunscreen without sounding like their teacher or parent, and cleaning up minor wounds that were usually a consequence of roughhousing, such as the infamous heatherball incident of 2018. Throughout the summers, the more scrapes, cuts, and bites I doctored in the stuffy camp office, the more I noticed something. Whenever we had to use alcohol or hydrogen peroxide to clean up the wound, the injured person would grimace and make a face and demonstrate that they were not pleased with what was going on. Seeing me coming with the first aid kit and alcohol spray, one very sweet kindergarten camper with a pretty nasty cut cried out, "Not the boo-boo spray!" Yes, the boo-boo spray. Camper, counselor, lifeguard, it didn't matter. Almost universally, the boo-boo spray portion of first aid proved to be everybody's least favorite, including mine. Perhaps you can think back to a time when you fell and scraped your knee or elbow or ankle. Do you remember the boo-boo spray? Do you remember the sting that could cut through you like nobody's business? And do you remember the relief, the sense of peace when it was all said and done and a clean Band-Aid was put on the scrape? There is good reason to use the boo-boo spray to cleanse a wound before treating it or dressing it. As painful as it might be, cleaning the wound is the first step in getting the body back to health. We know that removing any further sources of injury or infection is really important so the cut doesn't get worse. It is uncomfortable. It is necessary. After working with this strange, admittedly challenging passage from the Gospel of Mark over the past week, I believe we are being invited into what we might understand as the spiritual equivalent of the boo-boo spray on a tender scrape. Now, let's be honest, this text is difficult. This Jesus is difficult. His message to the disciples is crystal clear. Do not stop anyone working for me, even if you dislike their approach to ministry. Cut off that which causes you to sin and cast it far away. Have a pure soul, a soul turned only towards God. While these instructions are simple, they are not easy. They are demanding of us. Our story this morning puts us face to face with Jesus, who is stern, relentless, hurried, and gritty. So what are we to do with this text? What are we to do with this Jesus? What are we to do with the harshness of his words? If your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. For it is better for you to enter into life maimed than to have two hands and go to hell. What might we learn from these words? It is precisely in these severe words from Jesus that we are offered hope, though it might feel backwards or upside down. This hope comes to us through what St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, might call hard consolation or hard grace. Ignatius understood three different modes or ways that we might experience God in our spiritual lives: simple consolation, hard consolation, and desolation. We can think of simple consolation as putting on a favorite fuzzy sweater, getting a nice frothy latte, hugging an old friend. It's warm, it's cozy, it's familiar, it's simple, it's an embrace. Hard consolation, on the other hand, is just that. It's hard. We might think of it in terms of getting a less than stellar grade on a test in high school or college. Certainly sophomore year algebra is not coming to mind for me. And we get this poor grade because we just didn't study enough. Then comes time for the next test. We remember not doing as well as we would have liked, so we study more. And then we do well on this next test. There is grace and richness in this experience because we have learned something. But that doesn't mean it was necessarily fun. And so today we are thrust into a passage rich with hard consolation in the invitation from Jesus to eliminate, to cut off that which causes us to sin, enabling us to live into freedom. The language in Mark is undoubtedly harsh, difficult, but it is not to be understood literally. Jesus doesn't actually want us to cut off our appendages. However, as scholar Pheme Perkins writes, the metaphor shows the audience, shows us, how serious the question of sin is. This text is encouraging us to meditate and examine that which corrodes our relationship with God. More likely than not, our hands or feet or eyes themselves aren't what's causing us to sin, but rather the sin might be found in the things we choose to hold on to. Resentment from conflicts left unresolved, pride from feeling like we have to do it all by ourselves all the time, jealousy over a neighbor's success. I have come to know that at its very core, sin is an injury, a wound, a tender scrape on our lives and in our relationships with God and one another. In the same way that cleaning a wound, even a minor scrape or bug bite, is the foundational step in the body's physical healing process. Cutting off, freeing ourselves from that which causes us to sin is the first step in our spiritual healing process, bringing us closer to God. It is the uncomfortable and necessary hard consolation or boo-boo spray of spiritual health. The good news, my friends, is that when we sin, and we will, we are constantly invited to turn and return and return as many times as it takes to get back to God. Amputating that which causes us to sin will be uncomfortable. It will sting, not unlike getting our bodily wounds cleaned up. In this stinging, though, we are assured that our one holy and eternal God will walk with us, will bear the pain with us, will welcome us back and put us back together. By nature of the Eucharist, of which we will partake in just a few moments, we are reconciled to Christ, we are reconciled to one another, and we are healed in a simple consolation. My friends, may we go forward into our weeks knowing that if we let it, the uncomfortable and necessary hard consolation, the boo-boo spray, will lead to richer, fuller, deeper relationships with Jesus. Thanks be to God.